Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, February 26th in the NBA. My best plays are on the way. If you are new, my name's Austin from Calling or Shot. If you have been watching the videos recently, you know when we sweep the board, we bring out the brooms, we have a big celebration. Yesterday, technically, we swept the board, but today we have a new celebration, or not so much. That's bringing out the mop. We went 0-5. I lost 5.5 units yesterday, and it's become a common theme over the past few weeks, a week or so. In fact, over the last 6 days, I have had 3 days where we went a combined 1-15. It's like when one thing goes wrong, everything unravels and everything goes terribly. And I get it. If you've been tailing the picks, I'm sorry. I've been absolutely terrible. We've had some bad luck in there. I get that. But yesterday was just a lot of bad reads. Zion Williamson is over, terrible. Cole Anthony got injured, but he probably wasn't going to hit. The ladder challenge lost because Fox shot 6 of 21, whatever. The Durant and Strus parlay, terrible wager. Max Strus makes 3 threes in nearly the first minute. And then capped off the day, we were 0-4 going into PJ Washington. You knew he had no chance. He even scored a single point yesterday. 0-5. Bring out the mops. Absolutely terrible. I apologize, guys. It has been just a miserable post All-Star break. Outside of the one game last Wednesday when we went 1-0, we have been terrible. I think we've lost 11 units since the All-Star break. It's been terrible. I apologize. Look, I'm going to try my best to be better. And hopefully that starts today, and hopefully we can have a better second half of the season. Let's just wipe off those last few days, bounce back today. Hard to get up in the morning knowing that you sold bad info and you got to show your face in front of thousands of people. But hey, we're going to move on. Let's have a good day. Bring the good vibes in the comments. It doesn't do any justice going down below calling me an idiot. You certainly can if you want. That doesn't do any good vibes. Bring it. Let's have a great day. And we begin with our first play of the day. This one, I went back and forth on which line to back for him. That'd be DeMar DeRozan. We backed him before the season. He's been pretty good to us, taking his under, taking his over. Today, I like his over 19.5 points, minus 130 on FanDuel. Now, this is obviously his 20-plus points line. Now, there's going to be a bunch of books out there that have a 20-plus points line. Every book should have that. I don't think I'd play DeMar any higher than minus 140. If you have that at minus 140, either look towards his regular points line at 20.5 or take a peek at his points plus assist line. I think there's value on both these two lines. Honestly, if you have a 20.5 line, I'd probably take the points and assist line at that rate. I don't really like laying a lot of juice, especially on a points prop in the 20s. But I really like DeMar DeRozan in his matchup today as him and the Kings are on the road taking on the Utah Jazz. Now, let's hope this game's competitive, which obviously is a big question mark in the NBA these days. But let's touch on Mr. DeMar DeRozan, why I really like this matchup for him. Now, if you look at how DeRozan scores the basketball, reminder on PropsMadness, you can use code COS, 25% off your purchase. Links down below. Obviously, his number one scoring method is in the pick and roll as the ball handler, where the Jazz rank second. But DeMar DeRozan doesn't even score 20% of his points there. A lot on the free throws, spot up, post ups, isolation, and things like that. Well, we've seen kind of where he scores his points in terms of the zones. 28% coming in that mid-range, non-restricted area paint. The Jazz rank 28 there. 46% in the mid-range, where the Jazz are bottom 10 defense. If I'm the Jazz, I'm going to live with DeMar DeRozan shooting contested 2-pointers. We'll live with it all day long. And we think about this Jazz lineup. They have a lot of guards out there, and you kind of see their lines listed here. Collier, Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson, all these three guys can potentially be put in a negative position. And if they get switched on DeRozan, they're going to absolutely go to town. And they're just going to give it to DeMar DeRozan and say, hey, we'll get the heck out of the way. This season, head-to-head wise, technically, he's scored on the hook once, 20 and 18 points. This game, they won by 44. This one by 17. This is his fourth game with the Sacramento Kings. I more want to look at what he's been doing with Zach LaVine in the lineup. With Zach LaVine over in 5 of 8, one game on the hook, which is why I like this 20-plus points line. He plays a ton of minutes. Last game didn't come through, only shot 33%. This game, another 33% game, and then the last one against the Magic, one of the worst matchups for him. This is a great spot, though, for DeMar DeRozan, where I think he can easily get to his spots, absolutely cook the mismatches that the Jazz will throw his way. I don't see the Jazz doubling him because I think most teams are going to live with you knocking down contested twos, which is all DeRozan shoots. But again, he's normally a pretty efficient scorer. This season, he's only had 12 games where he shot below 40%. So he's had 2 of them recently. Coming off a game, he shot below 40%. I think he bounces back tonight. I think he gets a lot of high percentage looks, and the over-under for this game is 235.5. So it should be a fast-paced game. If this game is competitive, you will see DeMar DeRozan get the ball nonstop in the fourth quarter. Hopefully Walker Kessler plays to hopefully limit a little bit of Sabonis. But end of the day, I really like DeMar DeRozan. Give me his over in points. If you want to fade it, you certainly can. Don't say you're crazy if you do that because we've been ice cold. Next play of the day is going to be an under. We've got a couple unders in this video, and this next one will be the De'Aaron Fox, the man of the day, man of the hour, under 6.5 assists, minus 140 on DraftKings. A little bit more juice than I like to play, but at the end of the day, if it's juiced, I'd rather a winner than having to toss out L's left and right. And this is one of my most confident plays on the board. So I'm not going to go out there and be like, oh, it's only minus 140. Fine, I'll find another play. This is one of my top 5 plays on the board. We're going to take it at minus 140. I still like it at 5.5. Obviously, pretty big difference going from 6.5 down to 5.5. I love fading De'Aaron Fox, though, tonight on a back-to-back. Now, obviously, we all know Fox sucked yesterday. He went 6 for 21. He probably scores the basketball today because that's just how it be. Again, score as many points as you want. I really don't care. But he's in a very tough matchup against the Houston Rockets, one of the tougher defenses in the NBA. Now, Fox on the season, you'd see he's been solid in terms of this 5.5 is juiced on the books. You're still going to see 6.5s on DraftKings, minus 140, Flip, Bet Rivers. A couple different books are at 6.5. So obviously take that if you can. Now, on the season, sure, you can look at those numbers. We don't really care about those. I really want to look at the last few games when Wemby's been out. No Wemby, and obviously we want Chris Paul in here. When Chris Paul's playing, he's seen him have 7, 5, 5, and 9 assists. Now, yesterday he did have the 9 assists, so tip your cap to him. But again, this is the Pelicans. The Pelicans are one of the worst defenses in the league. Now he gets the Rockets. As you can hopefully see on the screen, the Rockets, fewest assists per game allowed. They are a 4th best defensive rating. They are on the second half of back-to-back, yes, but I expect them to have more or less majority of their guys in there. We're talking about Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, all those guys. So their defense should still be pretty good. Maybe they go a little slower on offense. But again, it's a tough spot for them. 7, 5, 5. It's not like the potentials have been crazy. Sure, 17 potential assists was against the dang Pelicans. But 5 assists, 10 potential against the Pistons. They lost by 15. They're 10-point underdogs here. This is even a game they won. He barely went over on the hook. I just don't see this as being as a great spot. Head-to-head wise, he is over in both games this season versus them. But look at the potentials. 7 assists on 11 potential assists. 7 assists on 7 potential assists. Look, if he has that big of a conversion playing 37 and 40 minutes, which we're on a back-to-back, Stephon Castle didn't even play yesterday, really, it felt like. So, again, maybe we'll go towards more of a youth movement tonight. Maybe we'll play the younger guys off the bench a little bit more. I just don't think this is a great spot. At the end of the day, even though this is a different team, I don't see him getting more. I mean, honestly, 14 potentials is a pretty dang high line. He's under 19 of 30. I think he could maybe get 12 max. He's under 23 of 30. I get it. So it's with the Kings. But again, this is a terrible matchup for him. I really just don't see him getting all the assists today. So I'll take his under at 6.5. If he cooks me, whatever, I'll ban De'Aaron Fox for the rest of my life. Love his under an assist today at 6.5. Too dang high of a line against the Houston Rockets. Third play of the day, we got another under. This is a market that I have not touched once this season. And it is a niche market, if you will, still available on a bunch of different books. And I'll mention the books right in a second. But again, I look at this as a good spot to take this guy's under. And it's not the under that you might be thinking about. It's James Harden. We're taking his under. 4.5 turnovers. Look, when we've been high school, we got to figure out different things that we can play. And I like the under in turnovers for the beard. It's minus 140 on DraftKings. Again, sure, it's a little bit juiced, but I'll say this 6 million times. I would rather give out a minus 140 winner than try to chase a minus 110, give you quick L's, and move on. I'd rather give you out winners. Sure, you can juice, you can parlay them. Let's be honest. A lot of you guys are parlaying the picks anyways. You've been reverse parlaying them. You might be Bezos right now. But James Harden, I really like his under and turnovers tonight. Now, FanDuel bettors, leave me alone. It's not on their app. I think it's because FanDuel knows turnover props. They probably don't have a sharp edge on, so they're not going to offer them. But if you're talking about DraftKings, talking about Bet365, ESPN Bet, Flip too, a bunch of other daily fantasy apps, they will have props like this. And so I'm willing to give one out. If it's cooked, we'll move on. Now, why do I like James Harden's under in turnovers today? Now, I think it's a solid matchup for him as he faces the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls force the 3rd fewest turnovers in the NBA. Now, last game for James Harden wasn't great. He shot the ball terribly. He also had 7 turnovers. So let's hope he's a little bit more careful with the basketball tonight as they're on the road taking on the Bulls. Now, like I said, you can bet this on a bunch of different books. Again, you see minus 140, a little bit more juice on some other books. BetMGM just posted their line, a little bit juice there. Again, I think Harden could score the basketball today. I mean, you look at his points line. We're sitting at, 25.5, so pretty dang high. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about his turnovers. Now, obviously, James Harden has been a turnover magnet recently. 5, 5, and 7 turnovers yesterday, or in his last game on Monday. Not great. But let's also factor in games in which Kawhi Leonard plays. And sure, we can have Norm Powell out. In the 2 games where Norm has been out and Kawhi has been in, 2 and 5 turnovers. So not ideal. Let's just mostly look at when Kawhi Leonard is out there. You see, sure, he's only under an 8 of 16 games. So maybe that's not the best. But again, this is the Bulls. The Bulls don't force a lot of turnovers. And I get it. Some people could say, Austin, head-to-head wise, he had 5 turnovers against them earlier this season. I get that. But again, there was no Kawhi Leonard, no Zubac, his starting center in there. Of course, he's going to turn over the basketball a little bit. And they lost by 13. He was a minus 31 plus minus. This is a Bulls team that hasn't been great. In fact, if you were to look at their stats, I put it in my write-up, the Bulls, since January 1st, they've played in 17 games. Only 6 players have had 5 or more turnovers against them. I mean, what I also like is that this is a Clippers team that has brought in Ben Simmons, and love him or hate him, Ben Simmons is a good playmaker and does take the ball out of James Harden's hands. And we want the ball out of his hands. We don't need him to be turning the ball over. So again, I see the Clippers coming off 3 straight losses. You need to limit your self-inflicted wounds. And one of those self-inflicted wounds is the turnovers. 5 plus in 3 or 4 straight games for Harden. I don't think that continues tonight. I really like his under and turnovers. I think it's a very sharp play. I don't think a lot of people will be on it. That's exactly where I want to be. I think the under is a great play to make with obviously the Bulls. Their defense is a disaster. Nikola Vucevic might be out today. You'll see Zach Collins in there. When he had 5 turnovers against the Bulls, Lonzo Ball accounted for 3 steals. Let's hope that is not the case tonight. My 4th play. And technically, you could say this is 5th play. They're 2 picks for one guy, split up to half units. Here it is. It's a guy we have never talked about this season. His name is Mouhamed Gueye, Mo Gueye of the Atlanta Hawks. You might be like, who the hell is this, Austin? You're telling me you went 0-5 and you're asking us to come bet on Mo Gueye. Yeah, we got to move on. We got to hang it up. Yeah, you could say that. I can't disagree with you, but we're on his under. So as long as we're back in Mo Gueye's overs. Mo Gueye is the Atlanta Hawks starting power, small forward, power forward, whatever you want to call him. I'm taking his under 5.5 points, which is minus 115 on BetMGM. I think Bet365, same exact thing. I'm also doing a parlay though. Him under 5.5 points and under 3.5 rebounds, plus 225 on Bet365, a 1-unit play. Now you can do that parlay on what's it called, on FanDuel, but it's only going to be about plus 145. So obviously a little bit of difference there. You could take it on. I know DraftKings at the moment when I'm recording this, they don't have the ability to take a bunch of other props. I want to say you can't take his unders. You can only take his overs, which is kind of cooked. In terms of, I see BetMGM has posted lines. I'm going to see what it is on BetMGM. Right now on BetMGM, okay, things glitched for me. See if we can pull up the odds for you on BetMGM before we move into why I really like this. Okay, BetMGM won't let me do it. Whatever. Here's why I really want to fade Mo Gueye today. Under 5.5 points. If you can't do the parlay or you just don't get good enough odds at plus 225, be willing to put 1 unit on his regular under in points. I mean, that's basically what we have. I'm banking on him not getting a lot of minutes tonight. Now, as I said, if you don't know who he is, I can't blame you. He is the power forward for the Hawks, but he doesn't really play a lot. And I'll touch on that now. Now, Mo Gueye so far this season, you'll see, okay, he's been hit or miss. We're like, what the hell are we looking at? What is this? I get that. He has been a very up and down this season. But I really want to look at is games in which we've seen since the trade deadline when Karis LeVert and Niang have played. Now, you see kind of one of these. You're like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, he's had a couple good games in there, but a lot of bad games. 9 points. He did just score 9 against the Heat, who he once again plays today. But you look at it, other games, 2 points here, 2 points here, 2 points here. He's barely playing 16, 12, 15, 16, and 15 minutes. So, again, not playing a lot. Now, if you want to see some great shooting splits, look at this. Mo Gueye, well, we'll get into that in a second. Think of Washington. What? You're not the one. That was an imposter. Don't look at that guy. We want the okay. What are we doing? All right, this is the real one. We'll dive into those numbers in a second. But how does Mo Gueye score? Cutting, you can't really equate that. In transition, the Heat rank 4th there. Spot up shooting 24th. We'll touch on his spot up shooting in a second. And free throws, they rank 1st. Last game when he scored 9 points against them, he went 4 of 6. He had a couple easy transition buckets. I'll spoiler alert, Heat were giving up transition because they missed They went 7 of 40 from the 3-point line and turned it over 17 times. So let's hope they're a little bit more efficient playing at home. He's also on the road. I would think about the rebounds, why I also like the under in rebounds. Look at these last 5 games with these guys in there. 3, again, this was a game they could not buy a bucket. So again, he still gets 3, still goes under. 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 7. The guy doesn't play minutes. Finally, look at Mo Gueye splits. This guy's terrible. No free ads. Get the hell out of here. Look at Mo Gueye splits. On the road this season, he is averaging about 14 minutes per game, 30%. He is shooting 12% from the 3-point line. 12%. He is a liability out there. They are going to leave him open. And sure, you can say he's an NBA player. I honestly didn't believe these numbers when I looked at them. But 12? I mean, we got to fade that. We just have to. We have no choice. So again, I really like his under 5.5 points. I just don't see him playing more than 15 minutes today. He basically plays in the first quarter, plays in the third quarter. I'll have to sweat those out. But again, this guy's just not a good NBA player. And if he goes out there and tortures us on the road, whatever, I'll live with it. But again, he's averaging 2 rebounds per game and 14 minutes per game on the road. I have to play these. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll take his under 5.5 points for a half unit and his under 5.5 parlayed with his under 3.5, basically a parlay fading him plus 225. I'll play both of those. This guy stinks. Cut to when he scores 10 points tonight, and I'm in shambles. Finally, my final play of the day should come as no surprise. We are running back the ladder challenge. Like yesterday, what are we doing? De'Aaron Fox is a known ladder banned player. We got to be better than that. But today, I'm looking at that Celtics and Pistons game. That should be a tight game, knock on wood. Probably looking at that one, looking at some Cade. I mean, I'm okay with Fox burning me because yesterday at the end of the video, I talked with the ladder, talked about Fox was one of my favorite players. Wasn't like it was someone that I was on the fence about. Fox was always going to be in there, so I'm fine losing with him. Just a little bit aggravating. But again, I really do like that Pistons and Celtics game. Pistons have been really good at home. They typically keep games close. They play their guys a lot. So look for that one. I'm going to try my best. 3 legs max. I can't be doing the 4 legs. It's just cooked from the jump. 3 legs max. Hopefully deliver a winner for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Will be posted later on today. Ladders, we're going on a climb. Those are my favorite picks. To recap them, if you want a quick recap because I didn't have them scroll on the bottom. DeRozan over in points. Fox under in assists. Harden under in turnovers. Ladder challenge was posted later today. And final play, Mo Gueye's unders kind of split up under 5.5 points, and that parlay under 5.5 points. Parlay was under 3.5 rebounds, plus 225 on FanDuel. Love it. Or plus 225 on Bet365, plus 140, plus 150-ish on FanDuel. Those are my plays. Let's bounce back after whatever the hell this was. That was disgusting. Bring out the mop. That is disgusting. I've been terrible the last few days, but hey, appreciate you guys for sticking around with me. Just know the picks are going to turn around. We can't be this ice cold for the rest of the life. So we'll turn it around hopefully today with a 5-0 sweep. And I'll see you guys back in tomorrow with some more picks. See you guys then. Peace.